YouTube is making big changes that will quite possibly negatively affect videos that are made for kids, specifically for kids under the age of 13. Now, what's interesting is I've been on YouTube making videos for just about 3.5 years, and in those 3.5 years, a lot of things have changed, especially when it comes to things like monetization. And the consensus of opinion amongst a lot of creators, and if you also watch a lot of channels like I sometimes do about how to grow your YouTube channel, is that the YouTube algorithm in the past few years has been favoring videos that are more family friendly. Theoretically, that's because they would appeal to more advertisers. But this seems to be a move in the opposite direction, since content directed at kids and perhaps so called family friendly content would actually be the kind of content that would suffer. But the reason for that is this is not something that YouTube wanted to do. It's pretty much something that YouTube had to do, and that's because of a settlement that they made in September of 2019 with the FTC and the state of New York. According to the FTC's website, YouTube and Google paid a $170 million fine for violating the COPPA Act. The COPPA Act is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. This is an act that basically prevents websites from collecting data on people under the age of 13, especially without their parents' permission, and it applies to companies that are within U.S. jurisdiction, but applies to children, even those that don't live in the United States, who are under the age of 13. This act is also the reason why so many social media companies don't allow users to be under the age of 13. Now, YouTube does have an app called YouTube Kids, and I do believe that kids under the age of 13 are allowed to have accounts on YouTube Kids. But I also think that at least it's supposed to work where first their parent signs in and allows the kid to have an account. And COPPA does allow there to be data collection on kids under the age of 13 as long as their parents give permission. So you might be wondering, why would YouTube have been found to be in violation of COPPA? Well, according to the FTC website, COPPA not only applies to websites that are directed at kids under the age of 13, it also applies to websites that are directed to a general audience when the website operator has actual knowledge that people under the age of 13 are using it. So that does raise the question, how can they say a website has so-called actual knowledge? Well, aside from the more obvious ways of if a website asks for people's ages, they would have actual knowledge of their age. The FTC also says, for example, if the operator of a child-directed site directly communicates to an ad network or plugin about the nature of its site, the ad network or plugin will have actual knowledge under COPPA. The same holds true if a representative of the ad network or plugin recognizes the child-directed nature of the site's content. Another way an ad network or plugin may have actual knowledge, if a concerned parent or someone else informs a representative of the ad network or plugin that it's collecting information from children or users of a child-directed site or service. Now, this particular settlement did come about after 24 privacy and digital rights and consumer groups filed a complaint against YouTube back in 2018. These groups noted in their complaint that although YouTube doesn't allow people under the age of 13 to have YouTube accounts, people who don't have accounts can still watch YouTube videos. And even when you don't have an account with YouTube, YouTube will still use things like cookies to collect data on things like what videos you are actually watching. And when the person who is watching these videos on YouTube is under the age of 13, that is basically collecting data on people who are under the age of 13, often without their parents' permission. The FTC used certain statements that Google made in a presentation to toy companies Hasbro and Mattel against them. Specifically, statements that YouTube was the new Saturday morning cartoons, that YouTube is today's leader in reaching children age 6 to 11 against top TV channels, that YouTube is unanimously voted as the favored website of kids 2 through 12, that 93% of tweens visit YouTube to watch videos, and in fact, that YouTube is the #1 website regularly visited by kids. These statements, according to the FTC, showed that Google and YouTube did have actual knowledge that people under the age of 13 were watching videos on YouTube. I do want to point out that it is not against the law to market to kids, and marketing to kids has been going on long before internet marketing was even a thing. Companies, for example, did know that kids would watch things like Saturday morning cartoons, and they would often buy ads on things like Saturday morning cartoons, specifically trying to market to kids. But what is illegal under COPPA is basically personalized advertising. And personalized advertising is advertising that takes into account specifically who is watching and shows commercials based upon that. Now, personalized advertising requires that you collect data, and that is why personalized advertising to kids is considered illegal under COPPA, at least on the internet. For example, I've been seeing a lot of ads lately for Dr. Squash's man soap, or whatever you call it. It's soap that is for men, and since I am male and I do use soap, I guess am somehow in the target demographic, and that's why I keep seeing these man soap commercials on YouTube. So that's probably because of personalized advertising. Now, a lot of people are saying that kids' videos or videos directed towards kids on YouTube will no longer be able to be monetized, but that's not really true. You can still monetize these videos, but they won't be able to have personalized ads. They can still have ads that are not personalized, and in some cases, advertisers might specifically buy ads on channels or videos that they know would be watched likely by kids. However, a lot of sources are saying that personalized ads make up, at least for most channels, anywhere from 60 to 90% of all ad revenue. That's partly because advertisers pay more to use personalized ads. So it is quite possible that this will cause ad revenue to go down for videos that are targeted to kids under the age of 13. In fact, starting in January, if a video is marked as made for kids, it will no longer have quite a lot of features. It won't have any comments. It won't have any end cards. It won't show up in people's notifications. Some sources are saying that it won't show up in suggested videos either, or on suggested videos on people's home screens. And if your entire channel is marked as made for kids, it won't have the community tab, it won't have stories, it won't have the notification bell at all, and people won't be able to put your videos into playlists. That could really hurt a channel. There's no way around it. A lot of people may not realize this, but in 2018, according to Forbes, the highest earning YouTuber was not Logan Paul or Jake Paul. It was not Jeffree Star. It was Ryan of Ryan's Toy Review. Ryan is a kid who reviews toys for other kids. You might be surprised to find out that Zorkbid123 was not even listed as one of the top 10 highest earning YouTubers. But maybe we can change that. Check out my awesome merch store on Teespring, link in the description. But anyway, Ryan's Toy Review was the top earning YouTube channel in 2018, and it is quite likely that his channel is an example of a channel that will be affected by these new changes. There's also the issue of how can you tell if certain content is made for kids? Like, there's a lot of content that both kids and adults might actually like to watch. For example, Pixel Dan is a guy that does a lot of toy reviews. A lot of his toy reviews are adult collector toys. It's a channel that might appeal to kids, but it also could appeal to adults. And apparently he has had several of his videos marked as made for kids, but not all of them. YouTube has said that they are not going to give advice on whether a creator should mark their videos as made for kids or not, and have said that they should consult a lawyer. But on the other hand, they've also said that they are going to use machine learning algorithms to identify whether videos are made for kids or not. So you do need to tell YouTube whether your videos are made for kids or not. But if you end up telling YouTube that your videos are not made for kids, and YouTube's machine learning algorithm decides that they are, your videos will be marked made for kids anyway. At first, it was reported that YouTubers would have the ability to appeal the decision if they thought that the machine learning algorithm marked a video made for kids when it was not made for kids. But now sources are saying that YouTubers won't even have the ability to appeal it. So you're at the mercy of the machine learning algorithm. The other thing is, the FTC is apparently going to start going after creators that mark their videos as not made for kids when they are made for kids, and creators could end up having to pay up to a $42,000 fine per video if they don't mark their videos as made for kids and they actually are made for kids. So it's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out in 2020 and beyond. We really don't know how it's all going to work. It does seem pretty scary, and without a doubt, it does look like big changes are coming to this platform. And like I said at the beginning of this video, the whole thing is rather ironic when you think about how for the past few years, so many people have been saying that the future of YouTube is kid-friendly, or at the very least family-friendly content. And now it looks like we're moving in the opposite direction, but that's not necessarily YouTube's choice. I'd like to thank Gordic for sending me this awesome microphone that I used to record the audio for this video. It's a professional lavalier microphone that has a 16-foot cord, a crisp, clear sound quality, and it comes with a nifty black carrying case. If you'd like to purchase this microphone, check out the link in the description. Thanks very much to my Patreon producer, Lena, aka Lollipop, and my Patreon associate producer, Jammy Joy. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon for notifications, and together we shall take over the world. You can also catch me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at Zorkmid123.